talking about international trade and relationships. So international trades is how countries buy and sell things to one another. We'll learn what trade is, who manages trade in the United States, what trade agreements do, and why some people benefit while others might not from trade agreements. So by the end, you'll be able to explain how trade affects your everyday lives. So our learning objectives for this lesson are, by the end of this unit, you'll be able to remember what international trade is, recall the responsibilities of United States trade entities and the WTO, understand what trade agreements do, analyze winners and losers of international trade. So our definitions for this lesson are a good, which is a tangible item, something that you can buy physically or hold physically. So an example of this would be a washing machine, your phones, clothes, anything that you can physically hold. A service, on the other hand, is generally intangible. So like an insurance policy, something that is not physical, but it's something that is done for you, kind of like an act. And so then we have export, and that is a good or service sent from one country to another. And then we have import, a good or service bought from one country to another country. So a tariff is a tax on an import, and a policy is a treaty, law, regulation, or rule established by governments through a political process. So what is international trade? Like I said earlier, trade is the exchange of goods and services between countries. This allows nations to specialize in what they produce best, creates connections and interdependence among countries. So our key concepts for this lesson are network and sectors, factors, exports, imports, tariffs, effects of trade on society, effects of trade on the environment. Okay, so to start, let's go over networks and sectors. So networks are a collection of connections between countries or companies. Networks consist of nodes or actors, and this just means countries and companies. Networks consist of edges or lines, relationships between country one and country two. Sectors are segments of society or economy. So segments of society include general, public, government, military. Segments of economy include goods producing, service offering. So factors. We have land, which is natural resources, labor, workers, capital, which means machines, tools, buildings, human capital, which would include skills and training. So imports versus exports. Imports are going to be a good or service that is brought in from one country to another. Exports are goods and services that are sent from a country to another country. So imports, think about it as bringing in, exports is sending away to another country. Imports is receive, exports is give. So talking about imports and exports, thinking about the United States where we live, so we mainly import electronics from Asia. Electronics like smartphones, laptops, and TVs mainly come from countries such as China, South Korea, and Japan. Exports agricultural products. So the US mainly exports agricultural products like soybeans, corn, beef, and cotton to countries around the world. Okay, and now talking about tariffs, which is our next definition, I have a video for us to watch.
Is affected by them. They are everywhere.
Countries have spent decades negotiating them.
Tariffs are a fact of life, and to talk about them, we choose to be at the place where tariffs are a fact of life, and to talk about them, we choose to be at the place where they matter the most. The border. What's your best definition of a tariff?
It's a tax on imported goods. Tariffs don't appear on receipts like sales tax or value-added tax. They are a hidden tax.
Governments typically use tariffs to boost revenue and to protect specific sectors of their economy.
Tariffs do make products more expensive. There's no question about that. They are mostly paid by the importer, but ultimately the consumer pays the price. You and I.
Since the World Trade Organization was established in 1995, the average world tariff has been brought down by almost 50%. Negotiations at the WTO have been responsible for bringing down many of those tariffs.
WTO members negotiate the maximum tariff that they will apply on all sorts of products entering their country. They commit to not exceed those levels, and in fact, they can charge less.
Once a country has defined the tariffs it wants to apply, it has to offer the same duty level to all WTO members. No discrimination, no enemies.
All of this allows trade to flow in a stable, predictable, and transparent manner.
Did you know that when the crew of the Apollo 11 came back to Earth, they had to fill in a customs declaration for the moon rocks?
Interesting.
Okay, so as the video explained, tariffs are a tax on imported goods.